In honor of Black History Month, I'm bringing you the true Black history that the man won't show you. One thing that surprised me when I was making this video is actually how few people believe in these myths. I expected more people. Some of these myths have been enculturated into the broader Black community, but even where they are believed, they're not necessarily believed as true. They're believed as myths. It struck me how many of these beliefs were actually built around movies. Movies made by white people that supposedly reveal hidden truths. On the whole, though, these do seem to be fringe beliefs along the lines of ghosts or ancient aliens. The subject of these myths, however, is particularly harmful to the Black community and their relations with other people. But for the sake of your sanity, don't take these videos too seriously.
Let's get right to the videos, because you're going to be getting a comprehension of some true knowledge right now. So I warmly invite you to listen to reason. Remember, reason is rays from the sun rays.
The name of the substance that is left behind of the dead gods is not only called Ka, it's also called demon. And I've been telling the motherfuckers, you're all so fucking stupid with this bullshit religion that the word demon and the word melanin is the fucking same. And you can understand why the damn government can give you a religion? Because when you go up in the church and you are scared of demons, you are scared of your own substance, which is melanin. I've been talking about this for years, but we got to break it down in scientific terminology for you. Remember I talked about a few minutes ago about these demon-type things in the movie 28 Days Taking Over the Earth? And it was in the blood system. In your blood system is these microscopic elements. I've been talking about this before.
Blood.
We got to break it down. It's demon, demonic substances.
Thank y'all for returning.
Yeah, man. We had to do the video over, man. We was unprepared. The phone was dying. We had to go get the battery charger and the selfie stick. We just was out here. See, this shit be turning around, but it's all good. I mean, we have to rock with it like that.
What's up, Devin, Tracy?
Because we are working out here in nature for you, for our people, our organic family, the original family on the planet, the archetype family on the planet. We are in nature. Every single day we sleep outside, we eat from nature, we are tuned into nature just for you, just so we can give the message. We are your plug. If you're not even living in nature, you're getting the information through us.
So everything you learn about this, you're learning from us. And in full disclosure, let's take a look at what is in there and what it means.
So we want you to know that we are very excited to bring you these new information, these new downloads that we have, that we sit and we are like the new yogis. We sit up in the mountains. Controls and regulates all of your hormones, so all of your hormones. It is very important to understand this, because one of the hormones that are very important to understand the universe, the pituitary, is producing a hormone that connects directly to the universe. Yes, the pineal gland produces melatonin and DMT. And it is direct connection to the pituitary gland, because the pituitary gland gives the pineal gland its melatonin. Okay? It's melanin. Let's stop calling it melanin. Let's call it the universe, because that's what it is. They like to confuse us with names and stuff, but we have figured it out here in Melanation, and we're going to give you the truth. You are the universe, okay? You are the universe acting as its lower self, and you need to come out of your lower self and become connected back to the universe, which you are, okay? There's rubber on your shoes that are disconnecting. You are an electrified being. You are an electrical being trying to connect back to the earth and connect back to nature. And this is where we must come to become divine and God again. The pituitary gland produces a special hormone. Now, what are hormones? Hormones are nothing more than harmony. That converter in the sky, it's a converter. It is ringing like a bell. The sun is ringing like a bell. It's letting off frequency. Everything, to understand the universe, you must understand frequency, vibration, and energy. Now that we understand that, we know that the pituitary gland is producing this special hormone. All of them are very special, because without them you cannot exist. But one that we must pay attention to very closely is which one? Which hormone should we pay attention to very closely?
Oh, that's melanocyte stimulating hormone.
Melanocyte stimulating hormone. This is what they call it. I'm just taking you from the lower self back to the higher self. Put the pieces together. Now the pituitary gland produces what? The MSH. The MSH is nothing more than your connection to what? The universe. Melanin. They call it melanocytes. It produces and makes the color. The color. Now we know color, when we understand light, is on frequency of waves. So if your melanocytes are black and are producing you to look black, that means that you're at a high frequency. We know that you are shorter waves, that you're vibrating. Your physical being is vibrating at a frequency that's so high that you appear to be brown. Chlorophyll, and we look into nature, we see brown. And then we look in the blood, we see that what makes the blood red is what? Iron. So we know that the middle of the earth is what? Nickel-plated iron. It is iron. That's where we get our steel and our metal from. Now, we know that it's one molecule away from being green. We are one molecule away from being chlorophyll. So I want you to understand your melanin first. I want you to understand that you are a vibrating spirit. You are not physical. You are vibrating at a certain frequency. Your bones produce blood. And that you align yourself and get in tune with nature again, because you belong in nature. You are green and it is brown. It is green and you are brown. And you must match this frequency of color. Up, you are brown. You belong where there's green. You belong where there's green, because without, and check this out, without the trees sucking up the carbon out of your atmosphere, when you live in a carbonated atmosphere and you have melanin, your matrix, your body's a living matrix of communication of cells. They're all electrified. They're all sending electrical signals to each other trying to communicate so that you could be, but you already are knowing you were born perfect. I want you to understand that your hair is the most best hair on this planet. You have the most kinky coil hair. It makes you conducive to energy. I want you to know that your hair is connected to your nervous system. The hair root plexus is what allows us to know and to understand and that our hair is essential. So when you look into Africa and you see that these people don't have hair on their head, you know that these are not people that are some ancient people, or these people, this is a lie. They're taking pictures of people, they're shaving off their head. These are slaves. The antenna is so important. The tentacle is so important because it connects you to the ether. The soil is brown. What comes out of you? The soil. You are the earth. You are the earth. You must connect back to the planet. You must get in between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, where you can have your skin out so that you can be black. If you stop producing this, you turn white. You do a Michael Jackson, vitiligo. You start to vibrate at a lower frequency of the universe. It is. It's sad. Look at all these melanated people that don't know who they are. So guess what? The living matrix is interrupted by things you put on your skin. By you being in the northern hemisphere and not connecting to the sun, your bars are low. You get information, but they're low. Just know, if you got in connection with us, that you are connected to the source. We're gonna tell you the honest truth out here, out under the stars. We're doing it for the organic family. We sacrificed our own self to show you that this is where you belong. We are Melanation. We are here to show you who you are. We are here to send out the signal to you to come home. Powerful, you are powerful, you are powerful. Your energy wants to flow. Your energy is trying to connect back to itself, but what's blocking you is your mind. Your thoughts. You're being taught by the lower self in books, in education, in college, in artificial light. You don't even understand who you are. You're already all-knowing. All you got to do is connect back. All you got to do is connect back. How do you connect back? You got to clean your melanin. How you clean your melanin? Well, that's what this video is about, motherfucker. We know the particular food to clean your melanin. And ain't nobody else going to tell you this. This is the melanin diet. The melanin diet. Think about this, Reflection. How we gonna be supernatural and we ain't even at the level where we could be naked again? That's all natural. How we gonna be supernatural? How we gonna have supernatural powers and we can't even tap into our natural powers? Come on. We can't even be human. We can't even let the hair grow out of our head and be all pure and natural. If you pee on the ground and you poop on the ground where you at, you will go to jail and you will be a sex offender in your neighborhood. You are not allowed to be natural. How can you be supernatural? You are genetically qualified to inherit these supernatural powers, but first you gotta be natural.
This part of the body, along with the pituitary gland, allows individuals to sense things and visualize things in their environment that cannot be sensed through the ordinary five senses, and which do not work nearly as much as it did in the past because of a dumbed down society. I mean, things like fluoride in our water, the poisons in our food, our organs of our human body, it can't work as strong as it usually does. And they know that. That's why they poison us. That's why they spray us with chemtrails.
I got melanin. I got melanin. We got melanin. Melanin.
I'm sure everyone knows this history. The South was in trouble. Of course, their major economic strong point was cotton, which we were in the fields picking because there's no way they would have been able to survive that. But then the boll weevil came around, a little insect or whatever, eating up the cotton. So the South was on its way bankrupt. If not bankrupt already, they were in trouble. Until George Washington Carver went out into the woods, meditated. They said he could speak to the plants, speak to the peanut, and come up with ways to over 100 things he could do with the peanut that actually saved the South. So you have to have that melanin dominance. You have to have that connection to the universe. You have to have that black body to absorb that electromagnetic radiation, which is in all things, to be able to convert that into information, which we call revelation. And that's why when Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, when he was talking about black meaning color, culture, and consciousness, and he added a corresponding cosmic connection. So when Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad was talking about that corresponding cosmic connection, he was talking about the connection between melanin and electromagnetism. So that's what makes us the brilliant inventor.
The breakdown of the Egyptian mystery system. Well, it really wasn't a mystery, it was a mystery to white people. So it was a way to kind of write things up so they wouldn't understand it. Because if you think about hieroglyphics, hieroglyphics is a Greek term for symbols. Symbols. That's all it was for Europeans. No, for us it had meaning. They were words of life. It wasn't hieroglyphics. They were called meduniter. So meduniter means words from God. So for us, symbols mean a whole lot of things. That's why we say, y'all, that's fat. What do you mean that's fat? Big? No, that's cool. What do you mean by that?
If I had some hash browns and the potatoes are made out of water, and I learned in school that water and oil don't mix. So what happens when you mix water with oil and put it in your body? The body says, well, I'm either going to digest the oil or I'm going to digest the water, but I'm not going to do both of them. So the body heats up, tries to break down this oil, which it cannot break down because the oil was made at a temperature of 212 degrees Fahrenheit, and your body temperature is only at 98.6, so your body can't break down the oil, so it just gums up your cells. I'm calling it chicken, but you like to call it an egg. Let's just be real. It's a dead fetus of an unborn chicken. So you're eating unborn children, using your body as a cemetery. I'm addicted to this food. I'm totally addicted to this food. And what has caused me to be addicted to this food is the food's ability to destroy melanin. That's how drugs work. If it doesn't work on the melanin, it is not a drug at all. So in ways, we are buying into someone else's diet. But we do know wherever Europeans go, they take their food. Prove me wrong. If you're in Africa and you turn black from being in the sun so long, then all watermelons should be black. Oranges should be black, apples should be black, leaves should be black. So we know we're operating on a whole lot of myths. People operate on myths, not on facts. It's a myth.
Drop of oregano oil. Oregano oil is very intense. It will kill everything from the H1N1 virus, herpes. It'll do whatever. It has taken AIDS viruses and put them in check. This thing, oregano, will kill pretty much every pathological organism on the planet.
So today's video is brought to you by a donation from Ancient Melanin. He wanted to know, where do white people come from? Now, I don't subscribe to any of these theories, but one thing is for sure, even so-called white people have admitted they're not human. Now, Caucasians have a sulfur-based anatomy. Look at this article. It says, melanated skin is made of selenium-enriched melanin. Pale skin is made of a variated sulfurous type of melanin. Thus, whereas the skin of so-called black people consists of selenium, the so-called white people have skins with sulfur. Keep in mind that selenium is a superconductor, while sulfur is a very poor conductor. Venezuelan President Hugo Chavez likened former President George Bush to the devil. The devil came here yesterday, referring to Bush, who addressed the world body during his Tuesday address. Chavez said, "And it smells of sulfur still today." On Yahoo Answers, they asked the question, why do white people smell like dogs when they get wet? Here's a YouTuber asking the question, why do white people smell like a wet dog? On the website BuzzFeed, they asked for the top 20 things white people smell like. The number one is white people stink be smelling like old cabbage and hippo farts. Number two is white people stink. Yeah, that's kind of true. They smell like sauteed onions. And then we have the book, Why Do White People Smell Like Wet Dogs When They Come Out of the Rain? And now here we have a list of people with Rh negative blood type. And what do you know? At the top of the list, we have Barack Obama, blood type AB negative. As I stated before, less than 1% of people of African descent are Rh negative, right? And then we have this long list of people like Dan Aykroyd, Charlie Chaplin, and Tom Cruise. And of course we have Johnny Depp and Nicolas Cage, who got their eye teeth removed. We'll speak about that at a later date. Now, moving forward, we have our buddy Queen Elizabeth with blood type O negative, and all the celebrities that are related to her. Wow. Now, porphyria is a disease that causes the affected person to be oversensitive to sunlight, to be extremely allergic to garlic, and have gums that resemble fangs. It is perhaps the disease that is the basis of the creation of fictional characters that we have come to call vampires. Porphyria is a genetic disorder which is very rare. And here we have Vlad the Impaler. Ain't he a handsome fella? Here we have the family tree. What do you know? They all have the same common ancestor, Vlad the Impaler. CBS News reports Vlad the Impaler. How is Prince Charles and Queen Elizabeth related to him? Queen Elizabeth related to Vlad the Impaler. First, the white man entered Europe around 1200 BC as illiterate horse nomads. They could not and did not begin to record their history until they had absorbed the knowledge of the so-called blacks in Europe, who were the creators of the original European civilization. You check out a couple movies. This movie you have to check out, Dracula Untold. Must watch that video. Then you must check out the movie Rosemary's Baby. And then finally, I want you to check out The Village of the Damned. These white folks are telling you where they came from. They're giving you small portions of their history just to show you guys what scholars and professionals are saying. Now, the first book we're going to look at is called Nutricide, and it's written by Dr. Layla Africa. So on page 193, it talks about the development quotient of an African child versus a Caucasian child. So the first row, they're talking about supplemental eating. So for an African child, that would be bananas, yams, squash, and pawpaw. These are alkaline foods, whereas a Caucasian will be eating meat, cereal. These are acidic foods. Now, the next row, it talks about how an African child greets his or her parents versus how a Caucasian child greets his or her parents. So for an African child, that would be the use of musical voice, sounds, clapping the hands, lifting arms, and smiling, whereas a Caucasian child would be mocking the play of wolves, which would be embracing, hugging, which is used to kill a prey, kissing, which is imitating eating a prey, or lapping blood, which would be like tongue kissing. Now, when it comes to beating for the African child, none. The child is too young to understand the purpose. Only 14 months or older. But when it comes to the Caucasian child, when it comes to beating, the parents are slapping the infants. Alright, so my personal opinion on where white people came from, based on the information that I have in this video, and information that I didn't even bother to put in the video. They are obviously not humans, and they were not created here, okay? We spoke about Rh negative blood, how everyone is Rh positive, but all of a sudden you have a group of so-called Caucasians that are Rh negative, right? We talk about their common ancestors being Neanderthals. We talk about their makeup, their anatomy being sulfur-based. We talk about Vlad the Impaler. We've just spoken about the Scythians. Obviously, their ancestors were hybrids. They were reptilians. They were savages, okay? They know this, and this is why, you try to talk to white folks about their ancestors. They say we're all humans. They say they came from Africa. No, you didn't come from Africa, okay?
There's a difference between a spirit and a soul. A soul is a whole nother dimension that can just basically rest for eons, encased in shit, out there in the bushes or anything like that, until it's trapped in the physical body. It's a whole nother world. It's a whole nother realm. So what happens is when you die, your spirit leaves. Everything down here has a spirit. Not everything has a soul. A soul is a son. That's the difference between white people and us and animals and everything. Everything down here has a spirit. White people are spiritual because they have a spirit, but they don't have a soul. That's the difference.
Our pineal glands are the only ones that work, though. People with any color in their skin, any melanin, that's the only people that pineal gland work.
That's
white
natural
people,
sunblock.
White people pineal gland is already, they were born calcified.
Probably never had it.
They don't. They pineal gland lays dormant. It does not work.
That's why they say Caucasians have spirits and have souls. Souls comes from soul word.
Teachers have souls.
I'm just interacting with you so that you understand what we're saying. Yes. When they kill 7-year-old kids, and in Cleveland they pull up in a park and in 1 second kill Tamir Rice, do you think that the police are not putting files on our children?
Are there black extraterrestrials? Gradations of Anunnaki going up to your Etherians. They manifest as so-called Anunnaki. I'm gonna break this whole thing down. But I wanted to put on that Parliament. Parliament talks about partying on the mothership. Parliament talks about we are here to reclaim the pyramids. Star Child here. Why is that? Why is this brother, he's talking about funk music and dance music. Why is he talking about Sweet Chariot, Let Me Ride?
It is a medical statistical fact that in Europe, 94% of Caucasians are still to this day born with tails.
Called black community. But then you have to wonder why medicine itself is allowing this to happen. Remember, the only reason we know about this is because this woman is an extrovert and decided to come out publicly. But I ask again, how many other people have turned their skin black but simply have not told anyone? How many more people are walking around within our communities, maybe even in our circles, or even in relationships with us? This is part of their takeover. So what does this mean? I want you to think of the crime rate and crime stats. If you have white people changing their appearance to appear to be black and then they go and commit crimes as black people, it then appears as more black people are committing crimes, even though it's actually not really black people. You then have the Trojan horse effect. How do we know that this isn't already happening with the sole purpose to make the black community look bad? but it's really a white person disguised as us. Now, what if within this Trojan horse effect, they come into the communities and they start to murder from the inside? And now there's even less genuine people of African descent, less authentic melanin. Then all you have left are your regular white folks and this pseudo dark-skinned Caucasian, black-plated people. Then all of a sudden, when their agenda is fulfilled, they can turn back and possibly become white again. And then all that is left is white folks. But I believe this has already been going on for years. Time to blow your mind for a moment. What if you actually were in a relationship with a white person that you thought was black? What if? What if you have known a brother or a sister that really was the devil? Because they say Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light. You can't tell me the more you think about this, the more it doesn't affect you. The creepier it gets, the more unsettling it gets. When they couldn't prove that Egypt was white, they said, okay, so we'll become black. I feel like now we have to question everything. We're gonna be looking at dark-skinned people wondering if they're really black. There's quite a few YouTubers that I'm now wondering, are you really black? We'll probably turn on each other wondering if they're really black or just a white person dipped in chocolate. And for those of you that think they have struggle genes and they can't get rid of us all, well, I'm sure there'll be enough sellouts that will gladly help them out. But please do not think for one moment that this is not real, because it's very real. I'm side-eyeing everybody right now. Who's really black? DNA test for everybody. Give me your papers. I need to see your certificate of authenticity. Is that melanin authentic?
The Europeans, the whites, Caucasians, they are using the melanin to stay younger. They think that we are the fountain of youth. So yeah, who are they selling it to? White people are taking it from us, blood banks. So you that go and give your blood, they're not using that blood to give to other people. No. And well, if they are using it, they're using it to give to white people. That's just the honest truth. Why is it the same amount of black people missing every year?
Black people have been playing to the tune of white people for ages now. Everything that we do has been for the white man. Hip hop culture and all that stuff, athletes, you know, like white people enjoy seeing black people jump up and down, rap, you know, cooning and hopping, jiving and jocking, you know, like that's what white people like seeing. It's been for centuries. It's been since slavery. It's the same thing. You know, they like seeing us, you know, in the cotton fields, you know, doing our little rhythms and our tunes. They like that kind of stuff. They made us to sing and to do all this stuff because we're so soulful. So now if we do the same exact thing now that we did back in the day. So they pay us money because they can't do it for free. They can't do slavery anymore. So guess what they do? We're going to give you $100 million to do this so that we can keep black people saying, oh, thinking that, oh, we really care about black people.
So I know a lot of you all know about melanin and how it's more valuable than any precious metal on the planet. That melanin has been used to cure cancer, AIDS, and other known diseases. I know most of you all know that melanin has a direct connection to nature, the God particle, and the sun. But did you all know that melanin is the fifth element? It's the sixth sense. You remember those movies. Turns out that those movies, those superhero movies, are displaying the abilities, or at least the potential abilities, of our DNA and the history of our ancestors. The electromagnetic field gives all humanity the ability to tap into superhuman abilities. Your melanin absorbs a wider range of the electromagnetic spectrum, giving you more access to actual superhuman powers. All those superhero movies and comic books that Hollywood puts out there are made about your ancestors. These powers include, but are not limited to, spiritual powers, summoning material manipulation, levitation, telepathy, speed of lightning, superhuman strength, invisibility, teleportation, telekinesis, shape-shifting, time traveling, enhanced hearing, X-ray vision, and magnetiception. Or can see, taste, and touch in numbers, kind of like Neo in the Matrix. For the past 25,000 years, our people have suffered from the lack of our giant energy ball. Sirius, the Sun star system, and Nibiru, collectively, we have temporarily solved this problem by going into hibernation. This has helped us to survive without our energy source. Now that our energy source, Nibiru and Sirius, is at our doorstep, we are regaining a superhuman powers. Although you may say, well, I can't do any of these things, and you may not be able to right now, but that is why we should be preparing ourselves for the rebirth of our powers. As many of you notice, our 3 suns are moving in closer to Earth. The beings that are the Anunnaki are very advanced DNA programmers. They are turning down our willpower levels and activating and upgrading our DNA. You will notice changes in your spirit, your mood, your mind, and body. These changes occur in the body cells as these cells undergo a gentle infusion of new electromagnetic pulses. Have you ever felt like you were supposed to be able to fly, or read minds, or be really good at magic? Well, you're not alone. Many melanated beings have felt and feel the same way. You feel like you're supposed to have superpowers, and that's because it's in your DNA. You melanated beings are rapidly regaining your superpowers. Remember, in the movie Independence Day, all the spaceships started waking up as the mothership came closer to Earth. It's a movie to them, but to us, it's our history. It's your history and your reality. Let's talk a bit about melanin and solar winds. So, they know how powerful your melanin is, which is why they are charging $365 per gram for it. Melanin is not just a pigment or a color. It is an aromatic biopolymer, an organic semiconductor, which is worth more than gold, silver, platinum, palladium, rhodium, you name it. When the firmament comes down and we're exposed to the solar winds, we will use this radiation or melanin energy to not only fly, but to teleport, communicate telepathically, control weather, electricity, and other elements in the earth, and the long list goes on. I have a list of some things that we can practice to regain our superpowers and get back out of slavery, this time for good. So, how do you activate your melanin? Energy or superpowers? Right? Number 4 is marry melanin. It is said that the aura of a melanated being is about a mile long. So being around melanated beings also helps your melanin. It helps your melanin production.
What you want to when you're actually the foundation for which the building stands. So do not accept this, but what we have not mastered is accountability and appreciation for what we have. Because one absolute universal law is that whatever you focus on expands, and whatever you appreciate will be multiplied and given double unto you. So it is a travesty when we begin to go up and down the street and see that we do not respect and honor what we have. Because when you do that, it automatically must double. That is a universal absolute law. So there are many things that are happening with us that truly are of our own creation. And I think it's very important that we begin to pull in our energies, tunnel in, and really begin to examine how much discomfort, lack, and limitation is really of our own creation, not of anybody else's. It's very important that you give all power to yourself and stop disseminating it to any particular race of person, to any particular institution, to any type of political science or lack of an educational. None of that has anything to do with whether you're going to actualize your God or God essence.